More South Africans are receiving basic services. The 2014-2015 data on the non-financial state of municipalities shows that more people have access to water, electricity, sewerage and sanitation. But Stats SA has warned that the trend cannot be sustained without substantial economic growth. This comes as it prepares to release the latest GDP figures today. We joined from our Pretoria studios this morning by Statistician-General Pali Lehohla. Mr. Lehohla, good morning, and thank you very much for your time. Well, issuing these figures around municipality providing basic services ahead of the local government elections may have made some people wonder if the Stats SA has been captured.
Well, I mean, we release this data around this time every year. I suppose the euphoria of an election tends to propel rumor and all kinds of innuendo. The statistics in South Africa, statistics is a conduit of trust and cannot be interfered with politically. But it is a given that it plays in the political space, and therefore people may make their own opinions. But what pleases me is that the methods and the independence of the Statistician-General is intact.
Now, thanks for setting the record straight. On a very serious note now, Mr. Lehohla, it's good to see that basic services have improved, things like sewerage, refuse removal, access to electricity, sanitation and water. But you have advised us as a country to say, in order to sustain this, there has to be more growth.
I think what we have to look at these numbers is the context of the RDP and over a period of time. 2 weeks ago, we released the similar data, but from households who are saying we see the same kinds of growth, but we are dissatisfied with the interruptions and the quality issues. We see the same numbers coming from municipalities themselves reporting on what the growth is. Well, you are saying it's good. Well, I only say what is good is the method. Whether it goes up or down, I'm agnostic about those. I'm a disinterested party, I just measure. But what we see is that the RDP promise continues unabatedly or relentlessly across time from 1994 up to now. But what we also know is that more lately, the economy and unemployment, particularly the economy, has not been performing as well as policy may wish. Unemployment has stayed at a high and it's very stubborn at that level. And those two things are toxic for sustaining these services because they are based on how much revenue can be harvested from those who pay tax.
And I mean, most of them continue to be free basic services. Therefore, the need to ensure that they can be sustained, because people now expect them and to be getting them from the municipalities. But we also know from the Auditor General's report that many municipalities are actually battling with irregular expenditure. When you look at the trend from 94 and you just cast your statistician hat into the future, what would you tell government if they were asking for your advice?
Well, they can't get advice from me from a policy perspective. I can only say we are measuring it. These are the results. I think the relationship that exists in the use of numbers by the Auditor General, because he uses this as a backdrop in his audit reports, I think will strengthen governance and will point to where there are cleavages and fault lines in terms of delivery of services, as well as prudence in the management of resources, both financial and human. One of the things I think that is emerging from the report are the high vacancy rates, particularly in key areas such as electricity and the environment. And from the report I released 2 weeks ago, there is a concern from households in terms of disposal of waste and the degeneration of the environment within which they live, which is basically polluted if there are no proper ways in which trash is disposed of.
Thank you very much. Statistician-General Pali Lehohla giving us his insights about those figures regarding municipalities and the provision of free